Hi again and welcome back. In this video, we'll be looking at some prominent proper names that show up in the New Testament. Several of Jesus' disciples are mentioned many times in the New Testament. One is Matthias, which we translate as Matthew, Marcos, which we translate as Mark, Petros, which we translate as Peter, Ioannes, which is actually the Greek form of John, and that's a masculine first declension noun. So the genitive singular will be Ioannou, omicron upsilon, but all of the other forms will be declined just as if they were regular first declension. So Ioanne, Ioannein, etc. Jacobos, or Jacob, is actually both the name Jacob and the name James. James and Jacob are two forms of Jacob that made their way into English via different languages. And Yosef is the name Joseph, which is actually indeclinable, and we're going to see this with some other biblical names that come over into Greek, that if it's too difficult to turn them into a form that looks like a declinable Greek noun, Greeks would just leave them as is and not give them any different case forms. And that's what we mean when we say that a word is indeclinable. It means it has exactly the same form no matter what case it's in, no matter what case role it's playing in the clause. Some other names that are mentioned of early Christians in the New Testament: Dorcas, which actually means gazelle. This is a third declension pious type noun, and the real stem is dorcad. Barnabas, of course, the companion of Paul and Saul. This is a first declension masculine noun again, and so the genitive is Barnabu, the dative is Barnaba, and the accusative is Barnaban. Timotheos is a native Greek name again, and it was fairly common for Greeks to use what are called theophoric names, names that somehow incorporate the word God or the name of one of the gods. And this is an icon on the right of Saint Timothy, and you can see on the right-hand side a slightly different form of the name Timothy in Greek. Jesus' opponents are often named: Pilatos, Pilate; Pharisaios is the singular for Pharisee, and more commonly we find the Pharisees named as a group, and so it would be the Pharisaioi. Herodes, or Herod, is mentioned, and this is another masculine first declension noun. Just notice that there's an iota subscript under the omega in the middle there. Judas is both the name Judas and the name Judah. Judas was the form that the tribe name Judah took when it was Hellenized. There are also some biblical names that are really just transliterations of Hebrew names, much like we saw with Yosef. And some of these are indeclinable. So Israel is Israel, Abraham is Abraham, and this is a 4th century AD Jewish depiction of Abraham on the right-hand side. Isaac is Isaac, and Dawid is David. Again, those are indeclinable, so no matter what case role they're playing in a sentence, they won't change their form. They don't take any case endings. But others are close enough to standard Greek noun endings that it was easier to turn them into a declinable Greek noun. And consistently these end up being masculine first declension nouns because they end consistently with either ace or as. So Moses is Moses, Elias is Elijah or Elias, and Esaias is Isaiah. Finally, I've used in Paideia a few popular Greek names that don't show up in the New Testament. One is Hector, a name that comes from the Trojan War and the Trojan prince Hector. This is a third declension noun of the mater type, and so the long vowel omega near the ending shortens in the real stem to Hector. Alcibiades was a hero of the Peloponnesian War, and this is a masculine first declension noun again. That was common with proper names for men in Greek, not just for loanwords that came over from Hebrew. Demetrios is the name Demetrius, and Leon means lion. It's the word for a lion, but could also be a name in Greek as well. And this is another third declension name, and the real stem is leont. So not only do you shorten the omega to an omicron, but you add the consonant tau onto the end of the real stem.